also leads to, as we said, to those breakout patterns. It emerges to a new pattern. And what I want you guys to really see, we have went over nearly every single, breakout pattern that's the go-to over the past few weeks now. Probably the past 3 weeks, we have been going over some of the best patterns. U-shaped breakout patterns, red to green, mid-candle breakout patterns, descending triangle, bull flag, ascending triangle, $1 breakout patterns. These are all great. And guess what? They all have some sort of consolidation towards them. So let's look, for instance, on a JVA right here, a bull flag. We have JVA, nice big rip on up. And what do we have? Consolidation, where we are going in between this area where the stock is just moving sideways. This consolidation is going to lead towards a nice big pop. So this is where we see our consolidation on bull flags, where we have our nice big rip, our consolidations being formed. Hey, you know what? We miss our rip right here. We can make money after the stock consolidates, and then we get a nice leg on up. Consolidation, guys, is basically just like that pit stop. It's basically like that area where it's, hey, we just went on a nice run. We just went on a nice sprint. Let's take a little water break. That's what it is. It's like, hey, we just went on a nice sprint right here. Let's get some water. Is everyone ready to go? All right, let's get it going. And then you got a nice big rip right here. You do, 300 laps around the Pocono Raceway. NASCAR, you got to come on in, get your tires changed, fill up some gas. All right, we're off to the races again. It's that pit stop. It's that water break. It's a time for traders to catch up. Everyone gets on the right stock, and now we get our next leg on up. Because you know what? A lot of times these rips at the start right here, guys, they are going to lead, these big time rips, they are going to be from traders who know the markets very well. They're going to be from traders who understand the markets very well, that are saying, hey, you know what? I know this is going to be a top ripper. I did my research. I studied, yada, yada, yada. So they're in, they make their money. Now everyone else is saying, hey, where's all the money being made today? They look at their scanners. They look at the top gainers on finviz.com. They see, oh, wow, JVA is the #1 stock. I'm going to go there. Okay, right when this starts moving on up again, all rookie traders buy it. Now everyone else who has, has come on in, now they start buying it. And you can see after consolidation is when we have some of the biggest volume candles on these plays. So consolidation, it's like for everyone to catch on up, and now we even have more volume for the stock to move on up. A nice big rip, a consolidation, more volume as the stock moves on up. So there it is on the bull flag. You can also see consolidation is where we have it on the U-shaped breakout pattern. We have our nice rip on up. The stock is consolidating between around 315 to 325. We have our nice spike. Now the stock is just consolidating, basically going straight, sideways as, okay, nice rip, water break, guys. Change your tires, fill up on your gas. We're going to head out of here at around 10 a.m. 10 a.m., everyone's ready? Yep, let's keep on going on up. So they emerge to the next chart pattern, guys. Nice rip, consolidation, volume comes in, nice next leg on up. There it is on the U-shaped breakout pattern. Channeling, guys. When we look at stocks that are, let's say, just channeling, that is one big thing of consolidation. When we see stocks that are just channeling, we have our nice climb, consolidation sideways. You guys ready? Yep, everyone's good. Everyone's filled up on gas. You got your cookies ready for the road? Yep. All right, big candles come on in. Nice leg on up. So consolidation is a healthy thing for a stock, guys. We have our nice rip where morning gainers get it. Consolidates. Everyone's ready for the afternoon. Yep, we got our nice big climb. That's on channeling. Let's just look at a few more right here. Candle breakout patterns. Mid-candle breakout patterns, guys. Where is the consolidation? Up, it's actually, on the day right here. We have our nice rip. The next day, it's down. The next day, it's green. The next day, it's red. Now we get our nice breakout, guys. Volume bars come on in. It's really that the days are consolidating. It's not within the minute chart. It's when the actual days. We have our nice red, or we have our nice green, we have our red, and then more green. We have our nice green, our red, more green. Green, red, more green. Whenever you see a green, red, green, that means it's holding up as some sort of resistance. It's consolidating, and we can make our next move on up or next move on down. So every pattern that is, a breakout pattern that we go through, guys, has some area of consolidation where the stock is going to be going on up or the stock's going to be coming on down. Now, you see a lot of stocks that just go on big time rips. And I say, guys, we need to wait for this area to consolidate. We need the stock to be healthy. The biggest stocks, guys, the biggest rips, the biggest plays are all going to have some sort of area of consolidation towards them. Let's just go back really quickly to KURA. I know it's going to take a second. Let me just scroll back to KURA on this 1 minute chart. And let's see what we have right here. All right, so KURA. What do we have? Where is our area of consolidation? Where we have our nice rip on up, we start moving. We hit up our area of 1042. So we just went from 931 to 1042, about $1 rip. Now the stock starts falling. It starts falling on down, but you know what happens? Really, it's not falling. It's consolidating. It's being healthy. You guys know our overall climb. So watch our overall climb lesson, guys. It's very important that you see, why is the stock bouncing right here at 985? Well, because that was right at the top of this morning spike, and that's where the stock started breaking out of. So it comes back down, bounces this whole entire area. It's not really moving up or down. It's more just kind of going sideways with a slight fade. Bounces, start moving on up. We get our next leg on up, starts climbing right here. Now we come up to 1347 after our initial, big time rip, big time run. What happens? We start getting inside this channel. We start consolidating. We get a little bit of a pop on up. Eventually, it stays inside this channel until it crashes back on down. But again, very, very nice. NLNK, we can kind of do the same thing. Look for the areas of consolidation. That kind of allows traders to catch up. Once the traders catch up, we form some sort of pattern, and that's where it becomes very, very predictable. So NLNK. First things first, we drop on off. We can make some sort of U-shaped pattern. First off, we have some sort of U-shaped pattern right here where we have our break of the old high of 1425. We move on up to where? 1475. So we're between 1475 and 1425. The stock is just going absolutely sideways. That's called consolidation. It's not moving up nor down, but what we do have is that the stock was climbing and is holding these recent gains. The stock is climbing and holding these recent gains. So we start moving up even more after we get the breakout. Now we are back up towards this area where we are between, right now, we get our nice next leg on up through 1475. We run up to 1530 and $15 support. We have a green candle, red candle, green candle, consolidation. As you can see, consolidation holding from our next leg on up. Now we start moving on up even more. We start moving on up even more up towards 1675. Starts coming back on down, but you know what? It starts bouncing back up here. So we could see that we are starting to form a consolidation. We also form a U-shaped pattern. U-shaped pattern breaks. Nice big rip all the way on up. We could see we have our top right here at around $19. We start getting inside a channel right here. A lot of consolidation, a lot of consolidation, a lot of consolidation. Still holding, still holding, still holding all this consolidation in between this big channel until eventually, I believe it, just cracks below this support line, and that's our kind of our next leg on down. So our next leg on down as that stock kind of cracked that main support line. So consolidation, guys, it's going to show you, where that next leg on up, next leg down, is where it's really going to be, going to move on up or move on down. Now, how can we tell if the stock is going to move up from consolidation? How can we tell if the stock's going to move down from consolidation? Well, let's talk about moving up from consolidation. The very common trend, the very easy thing to see move up from consolidation, guys, is that when we have consolidation, the overall direction that we are moving is most likely 99% of the time going to be the direction where the stock is going to get its next leg on up. Consolidation on the ascending triangle pattern, higher lows means the nice rips. Consolidation, higher lows means next leg on up. We have consolidation, but it's still overall moving on up. Overall, we're still moving on up. Overall, we're still moving on up. So, that is a very great thing. Same exact thing if we look at the U-shaped breakout pattern. U-shaped breakout pattern, we still have our higher lows, still moving on up right here. We're still trying to get some sort of a squeeze, some sort of a pop where the stock is still climbing every time, even though it's consolidating. And that's great. We want to be able to hold. Old consolidations are also going to hold up as new support. So you can see consolidates right here, holds up as new support right there. That's great to see. That brings in a lot of attention. That brings in a lot of activity as well. When we look at these bull flag patterns, or these bull flag patterns right here, you can even see this consolidation moves on up, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. It keeps moving on up. That's a very easy way to tell. Another easy way to tell, guys, is its overall volume. A stock that has a lot of volume towards it can easily move, consistently move on up. So let's just switch back to a 5-minute time frame right here on NLK. And what can we see? We kind of go back. We look at NLNK right here, and we could see huge volume moves through after we come up to these top resistance marks. We come up to these top resistance mark, huge volume pushes on through. That's going to lead to nice big breakouts. You can kind of see multiple like U-shaped breakout patterns right here. As you can see, U-shaped pattern, this high holds up as new support. Then once you break this high, the stock goes on a pretty big run, forms a consolidation right here. Consolidation right here forms another U-shaped breakout pattern. And again, so it's, again, as I said, when you build higher lows into it, you're going to go on a nice run. What you also want to hold, if you think about it, guys, think about it like this. Again, this is a little bit more complex, but if you kind of think about it as, let's say, this is an individual run. Forget all of this right here. Forget all of this. Like, forget this and this little consolidation phase. Start right here. Start right here and go 984 up towards 1175. If this run doesn't have a pullback farther than 50% of it, it can hold this consolidation. That's when in the future it's going to make its next leg on up. So you could say 985 up towards 1175, held up about 50% of its gains on its pullback, and now it's starting to move on up. Now we get a nice rip. Now let's start it over again. $11 rips all the way up to where? 1450. 1450. So we're basically going to start here from 1179 up towards around 1450. Okay, we're having a pullback. We're having a pullback. Is that bad? No, we have our bounce where? At 1340, we start moving on up. So out of this individual breakout right here, we're holding, more than that, the 50% gains we just got, and that's when it starts moving on up. Next leg on up, and that's when, that's when you guys can really tell that it's going to continue to move on up. What is the mid-candle breakout pattern now when you think about it? What's the mid-candle breakout pattern? The mid-candle breakout pattern is a breakout that holds more than 50% of its gains, where it goes from $1 up towards closed at $4, but it holds up, it goes back down the next day up towards, let's say 325. So it's still up above, holding 50% of its gains. That's when it moves on up. I really want you guys to see, right here, DELT, nice big rip on up. We're at $1 all the way up to 250, and then falls back down towards around 175. Right around that 175 mark, still holding, about 75% of its gains. That's when it's going to make some good. $1 all the way up to $17, falls back down towards around this 950 mark, but still holding, over 50% of its overall breakout. That's when we get that next leg on up. That's when we get that nice next leg on, continue on that climb. So basically, kind of break it down, thinking about each as a mid-candle breakout pattern. Why won't these stocks run? They won't run if what happens? We lose volume. So if we look at IDXG goes on a nice rip, comes back on down. It goes from around 167 up to 177, comes back down to right about 50% right here. Right about 50% right here from that initial top. But what happened? Volume faded off. So we didn't have any volume to kind of push it back on up, and that's when it cracked back on down pretty hard because we didn't have any volume. Also, kind of MRNS. MRNS, what could we be seeing if we look on MRNS like on a 1 minute time frame? MRNS, what do we have? We had our nice morning rip. Started crashing back down a little bit more than 50%. And we also just started, we had a nice big rip. Look at what was the difference on MRNS on the stocks we already showed you. On MRNS, the stock went up, came back down. It couldn't hold its gains. It's not holding it. We want it holding its gains between, let's say, like, hold on 1 second. Let me grab this, like this channel. So you could see the emptiness in this channel. We want the rip to go up and it to hold its new gains up in this area. We don't want it to go up and then drop back down, and now this old supposed to be support line hold up as resistance. We have like on KURA, we get our nice rip, but it's not like on KURA. If we look at this right here, it's not like we're getting our rip and then it falls back down kind of near the open. We get our rip and we're holding these gains, and then we get our next leg on up, and we get our next leg up right here, and you can see like it's holding its gains, moving on up. And then so if ALDX starts breaking this mark, guys, if this stock starts breaking, break of $7 would probably be your buy alert. The stock does have a high up towards where it's 725. So ALDX, guys, I am going to put this for that possible buy alert at the break of $7 right here if it could break $7. So watch for ALDX for the $7 break. As right now, it's getting held up at $7. It's getting held up at $7, but it does look like it wants to possibly break. Look for the $7 break, and then exit would be all the way up towards around, that 715 mark to start. Stop loss would be at around 687, 685. But I think, we're going to go sideways for a little bit and then watch for the shoot up. So this is a very nice red to green move. We have 685 as the high of the day, came back on down, found very nice support at 630. So it came back down at 630. Now it's starting to U-shape on up. We're going to see it come back on down a little bit. Watch for the re-break of $7 as that stock could possibly get, that very nice climb. So I'm going to put that buy alert at the break of $7. Buy alert at the break of $7 for the next leg on up. If it can go sideways right along this top right here, we could definitely see buying volume come in and push that play on up. We are at 690. And again, I just want to see if we get a possible quick rip on this play. And if it can hold across this top right here, that's where a lot of buyers are going to get excited. So if it can hold across this top and not drop down, now it could get a little drop. If it gets a little drop and we can hold some sort of trend line, that's okay. So if we get a little drop and hold some sort of trend line, like something like this, then that's fine. But, buyers definitely want to see it more stay up, again, up around 50%. If you guys go in the video library, we talked about this yesterday on consolidation lesson. We went to a lesson on consolidation. It was a very great lesson, guys, about finding stocks with, great potential to break out when they're consolidating. And what I'd like to see is that we see this nice rip and we have 50% where it's going to hold. So we don't kind of go up 100% and then drop down 100%. That shows weakness. What we want to do is kind of get this nice pop up. Let's say this equals 100%. It's going to hold, let's say, at 50% or higher. That's what we want to see. So we want to see if the stock can kind of hold 50% or higher inside new channel from the rip, and that's where it indicates a breakout. Make sure you guys watch that video in a video library, as again, we get our next leg on up. If this candle represents 100%, we want to stay above the 50% mark for our next leg on up. And bada boom, just as daddy's talking, what did we get going on here, guys? We are starting to get that $7 break, and we have moved up so high, up towards highs of 710 so far. And let's see how high we could possibly go on this play. Let's see how high we could possibly go on ALDX right now. Again, you make sure you guys are being quick with these plays. There is, I feel like, a lot of potential that's going to move over to ALDX, especially if we could break through 710. It's a very nice play so far. Already got our next leg on up because we held 50%. We held 50% from that next leg on up, or from that initial pop. And that's where so far we just hit highs up towards around 725. So ALDX, or actually highs of 730, excuse me. All because of consolidation. So we are learning about consolidation and learning about what consolidation is going to lead towards a breakout. What consolidation is going to lead towards a fake out breakout? What consolidation is going to lead to a regular breakout? What consolidation is healthy? What consolidation is not healthy?